What is suspended particulate matter means? Amitabh,
Yes, ma'am.
what is suspended particulate matter?
Ma'am, I
SP.
was absent at last class.
Ojaswini, Ojaswini, are you there? No.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
What is SPM?
Ma'am, particles that, ma'am, they're in the atmosphere and they cannot be seen, like they pollute the air.
No. No. Pathikrit, Pathikrit, are you there?
Ma'am, they're suspended in the atmosphere.
Hmm. Suspended in atmosphere and
For example, the dust.
okay. Yes, Pragya.
Mom, I don't know.
You were there last class.
Yes, mom.
Then this was the important thing I've explained. Name itself suggests suspended particulate matter. Particulate, that means particles. Suspended particles. Clear? Anything? Any idea? Suspended particulate matter, that means the particles, solid particles which are suspended in the air. Those are dust particles. Yes, Ojashwini already told it is a dust particles. Metal particles, very thin metal particles. Carbon particles, the smoke. The smoke consists of carbon particles. Yes, it is there. Metal pollen grains are also a part of SPM. So these particles makes the air pollute and causes many breathing diseases, breathing problems. Clear now? What is SPM? Is it clear? If you don't respond, there is no use of teaching you then. Because I'm not getting whether you are getting.
Yes, ma'am.
When I'm asking question, you are not responding. I'm asking you whether you have done or not, then also you are not responding. How will I get to know what you're doing? You don't switch on camera also. How to monitor you? I'm not getting. So yeah, carbon monoxide, due to that, carbon monoxide is a poisonous gas. It reacts with hemoglobin, forms carboxyhemoglobin, and when it forms carboxyhemoglobin, now hemoglobin will not be available for combining with oxygen. So therefore, oxygen will not be carried out, or carrying oxygen carrying capacity of the body decreases. So due to which the person will have the difficulty in breathing. And if it is, he won't come to the out of the carbon monoxide area, he will suffocate to die. So that much poisonous this gas is. Mostly produced near the traffic regions. Wherever there is a more traffic or more factories are there carbon monoxide is produced in larger quantity. Second pollutant is smog. Smog is the combination of smoke and fog. So the smoke is the gas, dust particles mixed with the air, and the fog is water particles mixed in air. When the smoke, that is these solid impurities, when combines with fog, it will make a smog. Smoke plus fog makes the smog. It is a combination of fog and smoke, and it causes, what are the problems it causes? It causes asthma, wheezing cough, and cough. Those problems will be created. Leads to decreased visibility. In Delhi, you might have heard that is there is a much more pollution. It is not visible. The front people, the whenever you are any person is traveling through any vehicle, so they can't see whichever there is in the front. That is because of this presence of the smog. Generally happens in the month of January. There is a large amount of October, near Diwali time. So this smog is created in a large quantity. The visibility is completely reduced, which increases the accidents because the people can't see what is there in front while traveling, also while uh, transportation. So at that time, the drivers can't see any vehicle in front of them or not. So due to decreased visibility, the people, there is a more chance of accidents, and even it leads to the respiratory problems. So at that time, the respiratory problems is at high level. So that happens because of smog. Sulfur dioxide, next pollutant. Sulfur dioxide is caused due to the burning of coal, petrol. So burning of fossil fuels produces sulfur dioxide. So sulfur dioxide causes problem in respiratory problem. It causes the lung damage. So most of them have an effect on respiratory tract. When we inhale, that moves to the lungs, and the lungs' breathing capacity decreases. And sulfur dioxide is a main cause of acid rain as well. So what is acid rain? I will explain you after this effect of air pollution on the environment. In that I will explain you acid rain. Chlorofluorocarbon, I already explained you the ozone layer depletion. The chlorofluorocarbon, CFC, is a chemical which is responsible for ozone layer depletion. So it depletes the ozone layer, it reduces the amount of ozone in the air. It is produced by air conditioners, refrigerators, and all aerosols, that is all air sprays. It is CFC will be produced. It can cause, deteriorates the ozone layer and causes decreased visibility. Visibility also is reduced because of CFC, but the main causes the ozone layer is reduced. Then suspended particulate matter, that is dust particles, produced due to the burning of fuels. It produces many solid impurities suspended in the air that we call as SPM. And the SPM problem leads to mainly the breathing problem, asthma, bronchitis, and allergy. So mainly people in Bangalore, you will see that is when they come to the Bangalore the first time, they will start sneezing continuously in the morning time. So that is the allergic. The problem is the allergy, and that allergy is due to the SPMs in the air. Bangalore has large amount of SPM in the air. So people have continuously cough, cold, all allergy problems are there. That is because of these presence of SPMs. Write down this all. The pollutants, the source, how they are produced, and their effects. The tabular form only, write it down. Completed?
Ma'am, what are the points for CFC?
Here it is deteriorate the ozone layer and cause decreased visibility. No, only deteriorate this part. Deteriorate the ozone layer. That's it. So decrease in visibility and lead to problems in breathing are the parts of SPM. Completed?
Yes, ma'am.
The next is effect of this air pollution on environment. So most common effects are the breathing problems, lung disorders, asthma and bronchitis. The second harmful effect is the greenhouse effect or we call as global warming. Okay. Now what is global warming? Last class I have in short I have explained you. Greenhouse effect is actually necessary for maintaining the earth's temperature. Atmospheric temperature has to be maintained constant. That is actually happening with the greenhouse effect. Many particles are present in the air. So those are gaseous particles, mostly the greenhouse gases we call them as carbon dioxide, methane molecule, hydrogen molecules, ozone molecules are responsible for trapping air, trapping heat rays in the atmosphere itself. So when the earth's sun's rays enter the earth's atmosphere due to presence of these gaseous particles like carbon dioxide and other gases like methane and hydrogen and ozone gases, so the light won't get reflected back completely. Some part of heat rays, light rays reflected back escapes out through the atmosphere, but some part of these heat rays or light rays remain reflected inside the Earth's atmosphere. Due to presence of or due to trapping of this heat rays, maintains the constant temperature of the atmosphere constant, and this due to this phenomena the life on this earth is possible because the temperature on the earth has to be maintained constant. There should not be much variations. Just like other planets, the temperature at night during one single day, temperature at night and temperature in the morning varies so large. The variation in this temperature is so large that is a single life cannot survive at that two different temperatures. Not possible to survive. In such cases, on this earth, the temperature much variations at night time and during daytime is maximum approximately equal to 5 degrees Celsius difference is there. So that much temperature change is variations are manageable by the living things. So therefore all life is possible on the earth because of this maintenance of temperature. But due to increased use of fossil fuels, the large amount of these greenhouse gases are released in the atmosphere. So amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere increases. So due to that, the carbon dioxide keep trapping the large amount of heat energy inside the earth's surface. That means on the in the atmosphere, the large number of heat rays remain trapped. They won't allow any escape. Initially 60% trapping and 40% escape is needed actually, but now due to increased presence of carbon dioxide traps 80 to 90% of heat energy, and only the amount of heat energy escapes out is only 10 to 20%. So due to that, large amount of heat waves are present in the atmosphere, which increases the temperature of the earth. So nowadays you can see the temperature in summer season increases to 45-50 degrees Celsius also. So that much temperature, life on this earth is somewhat problematic. So that much heat, the living organisms cannot survive to that higher temperature. So this causes a severe trouble to the life on the earth. So this is what we call as temperature of the earth keep on increasing because of this increased greenhouse gas accumulation. And this phenomena is called as global warming. The temperature of the earth increases due to the trapping of large amount of heat rays by the greenhouse gases, because the greenhouse gases amount of these greenhouse gases increased. This is what we call as global warming. The effect of this global warming is one thing, the temperature of the earth increases. To that high temperature, sustenance of life is not possible. You might have seen one last year itself, the temperature in this one, you already know that is in UAE area, continent UAE, near Dubai and all those regions, the temperature is already very high. And in that summer season, it has crossed 50 degrees Celsius. So that time you have seen, without doing anything, many palm trees catched fire. It was there in the news also. So why they catch fire? Because they are not able to sustain to that temperature. So they immediately catch fire because those are older, and maybe some of the leaves are dried one. So that much heat energy due to the heat waves, it reaches its ignition temperature and started catching fire. So forest fire is also because of this increased temperature. Again, due to this large amount of increase the temperature, glacier, snow keep on melting, and that will start flowing into the seawater. Sea level, ocean levels keep on increasing, and then slowly, it started submerging all the land area. So whatever the land area present near the sea and ocean, so those are keep submerging due to the increased water level. So these are the effects of global warming. Is it clear? Increased greenhouse effect causes global warming. Global warming is again much more harmful. It's clear about the global warming? Is it here?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
The next cause is the acid rain. Now what is acid rain? Acid rain, the rain which is acidic in nature. Whenever we burn fossil fuels, mostly the petrol and petroleum products. So whenever we burn those releases oxides of sulfur and oxides of nitrogen, even oxide of carbon also, that is carbon dioxide. When these gases remain accumulated into the air, so at the time of precipitation of water, that means at the time of raining, these gases dissolve in that rainwater. So these gases are soluble in water. So they dissolve into the rainwater and forms acid. Sulfur dioxide forms sulfurous acid, nitrogen dioxide forms nitric acid, carbon dioxide forms carbonic acid. So these acids are present in the rain. At the time of now that rain precipitates on the surface of the earth, reaches the surface of the earth. So that rain has large amount of acids present in them. So therefore that rain is called as acid rain, and that acid rain causes severe trouble again. That is, the germination property of the seeds decreases. There will be the large damage to the crops, because on the crop directly this acid rain is falling. So leaf will wilt, wilting of the leaves will be seen, leaf will burn because of the acid attack, the leaf will burn, the crop may burn, the full all the grains present in the crop will you become useless. They react with the acid and become useless. Germination capacity of the seeds they will lose. The seed will lose the this one, property of germination. So this there will be a severe effect. The soil also will turn acidic, and in that acidic soil the plants can't grow. So that soil will become infertile. If that rainwater get added to the any pond, lake, then that pond and lake's pH value decreases. That means it will become more acidic. So many aquatic life will get affected by that acid rain. To in acid rain, the water become acidic, and in acidic environment, the organisms can't survive, so they will die. So these are the effects will be seen on the earth, on the in the soil, on aquatic life, on plants. A severe trouble will be, severe effect will be seen. And one more well-known effect of this acid rain is the, yeah, marble cancer seen in Taj Mahal. Taj Mahal was, when it was built, it was completely white. These are the marble floor, marble, calcium carbonate is used. So that was completely white, a pure plain white color rocks were used to make the to that Taj Mahal is prepared, created. But due to this acid attack, acid rain went falling down. Near Taj Mahal, Yamuna River is there, and near that Yamuna River, Mathura refinery is present. So Mathura refinery, that is a petroleum products are petroleum products. Petroleum is refined that place. So whenever these petrol at the time of petroleum refining, when it is burned, it releases large amount of sulfur, oxides of sulfur. So these oxides of sulfur get accumulated into the water, mixed into the water, dissolves in water. Even there is a evaporation of Yamuna river is there nearby. So that river evaporates. So that water droplets are present. So in that water droplet also this sulfur dioxide dissolves and form the acid. So in that environment, large amount of acidic substances are present. So these acidic substances combines with marble, that is a calcium carbonate, of which that Taj Mahal is made up of. So that calcium carbonate now gets converted into some other compounds and get turned yellow in color. So this is what we call as marble cancer. So marble cancer, that is marble gets cancer. That means it becomes useless. It gets turned in different form. So that is because of the reaction with acid rain, because acid calcium carbonate can easily react with acid. Is it clear? Are these points clear?
Yes, ma'am.
And then finally the ozone layer depletion. So ozone layer is an important layer present at the boundary of the atmosphere, stratosphere. Stratosphere is made up of the ozone layer. Ozone layer is created by the ultraviolet radiations, but once the ozone is created, it will not allow ultraviolet radiations to enter the Earth's atmosphere. They block the ultraviolet radiations, and ultraviolet radiations are very harmful for all living organism. They can cause skin cancer. Eyes get damaged. If the ultraviolet radiations falls on the eyes get damaged. Cataract is the eye problem will be seen because of the continuous exposure to ultraviolet radiations. So these are all problems occur due to the ultraviolet radiations, and the ozone layer is blocking them. So ozone layer is very, very important for life on the earth. But again, by human activities, the increased use of CFC, that is chlorofluorocarbon, when chlorofluorocarbon enters the atmosphere, it combines with ozone and converted back to oxygen gas. So due to that, the amount of ozone present in the atmosphere keep on decreasing. This is what we call as ozone layer depletion, and that is very, very harmful for all the living organisms. If the ozone layer depletes or creates the hole, then the ultraviolet radiations enters the Earth's atmosphere and causes severe trouble to the living things. So these are all the effects of uh, air pollution. These pollutants present in the air causes this all these troubles. So effects of pollutants on the environment you have to write down: greenhouse effect, acid rain, and ozone layer depletion. Write it down. completed?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, can you scroll down?
Completed?
No, ma'am. Last.
No, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Which part you're writing?
I'm the ninth point.
I'm eighth one.
I'm the sixth.
Okay. Completed. If completed, tell me immediately. 10 points.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. Other students, have you done?
Yes, ma'am, done.
Yes, ma'am, even I'm done.
All 8 points are okay for you. You understand those. There's nothing new for you. Ninth and 10th point. That is use of catalytic converters and use of electrostatic precipitators. So what do you mean by that? There are some scrubbers also used. So catalytic converters are used in vehicles. Near that silencer we use it in vehicles below. Nowadays we don't see smoke. The older vehicles has a smoke coming out of it. Nowadays whatever the vehicles we see through that silencer, the smoke is not coming out. So that is because of the presence of catalytic converter. Catalytic converter is a one device which is connected inside that vehicle, due to which whenever there are the pollutants are produced, that is carbon monoxide or oxides of sulfur and nitrogens are produced, those has been in that converter, these harmful gases are converted to harmless or less harmful monoxide into, it is harmless carbon dioxide, nitrogen, and water. So, harmful exhaust gases like carbon monoxide and nitrogen dioxides are converted into harmless carbon dioxide, nitrogen, and water. So this is the function of catalytic converter. And another one is the electrostatic precipitator. So what do you mean by electrostatic precipitator? That is, there we are using electrostatic mechanism. That is the attraction. Different oppositely charged particles get attracted. So those attraction and then precipitation of those harmful substances. This is generally used for SPMs, that is suspended particulate matter. So this thing is used for these SPMs. So what is the function of these? What they do exactly? So their main function, what they do is that precipitator has a electrodes. So those are charged particles. So electricity, we are using it for that. So they have these devices, this one in a large amount when the SVM is produced. So in generally in industries, power plants or industries, large industries where these solid impurities are created more, their electric current. So this smoke has been transferred to one chamber where there is a electric current is passed through them. So due to this electric current, so the particles, whichever the solid particles are there, those get charged up. So due to passing of current, those particles get charged up and they get attracted. So those charged particles will get attracted towards the opposite charged electrodes. So they insert electrodes. They insert electrodes and then they pass the current. So due to passing of current, those particles, those solid impurities get charged up. So those charged particles will get attracted towards oppositely charged electrodes and those electrodes absorb them. So all the impurities, so those all solid impurities will get attracted and deposited over electrodes. Exactly similar you have seen in the electric effect, electroplating process, right? Electrolysis you have seen the same thing happen here, that will happen with the solid particles, and this way those solid impurities will be removed from the that particular area, from that chamber. All these solid impurities which can be charged, those can be removed by this process. So this is what the electrostatic precipitator does. Clear? This is specially used for SPMs, solid, that is suspended particulate impurities, particulate impurities, or particulate matter. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this is all about the air pollution. So till this part we have finished the air pollution only. Go and read your book to get these points clear. Till this point, any problem you have? Till air pollution part.
No, ma'am.
Air pollution we have finished. So any doubt in this one?
No, ma'am.
No. Okay, fine. Then water pollution is left out. So we'll complete next class. Okay, fine. You can leave now.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am.
Okay.